I'm CTWE Wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends that Rent a Race Car, you can!
Visit www.rentaracecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
Oh, Catalan. You just tell me when to go. I'm just here looking for produce.
And welcome back to Vidane TV. Just getting wrapped up here with qualifying here for the East Coast Winter League Pro Series this time up for the Design Lab Twin 50s in North Wilkesboro Speedway. Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. joined by Tim Terry back in the commentary booth. Took a little bit of a break there to take a look at some of the Royal Rumble action, but we're back to see what the real action is. Again, the East Coast Winter League Pro Series. And just wrapped up qualifying. What'd you see during qualifying there, Tim?
Well, we actually saw a couple of drivers in the single car qualifying do burnouts in order to get their fastest time and get those tires warmed up a little quicker. So, congratulations to Kenny Zeems and Trevor Catalanato. Front row, Kyle Scisco is going to roll off in position number 3, and he's the first driver to put down that lap call without putting in a burnout on his qualifying effort. So, Ken Zeems is going to start position number 4. Jacob Christman, Teddy Hogden, Ryan Kramer, Ryan Libby, Zane Farrell, and Ray Fataruso, your top 10. Ryan Libby, Zane Farrell put on a show about an hour and a half ago in the light division with this open setup now. They have some track time, but it really doesn't help them a whole lot when it comes to the open setups. 19 cars here, or at least 18 cars here. Dylan Kopech at the back of the field, along with 11 on back, Russell Peets, Adam Gordon, Tyler Catalanato, Clayton Edney, Ryan Salvatore, Jason Ricker, Mike Hopkins, Dylan Kopech, Sean Okula complete your field of 19 cars that are in the session, Paul, and getting ready to roll out for the first of 50 laps. If you are just joining us, didn't join us earlier, we'll run 50 laps presented by Design Labs, and then we will invert a couple of these cars or all of these cars and do it again for 50 more laps with 2 races, 2 different winners, potentially. As we saw in the first one, it got wild at the end. Paul, we'll see what transpires here over the 50-lap distance in race number 1, presented by Design Labs.
Absolutely, Tim. You can see all these drivers lined up on the front stretch, waiting for everybody to get into their race cars. At this point, it looks like we're just waiting for the Dylan Kopech machine to be filled, which won't happen. Dylan Kopech, the league official and the league owner here at East Coast Winter League. So he's going to be the eye in the sky for this evening, keeping a look on all the drivers and racing action as we bring them down to the green flag and everybody getting rolling behind that iRacing Mustang pace car. Looking forward to 50 laps and then another 50 laps and put a total on the board, 200 for the night here for the East Coast Winter League. And, man, if this race is half exciting as the 2 races we saw before, that's a 33rd and a third chance of getting entertained here on Vidane TV, Tim.
That's a lot of math, and I'm glad you did it, not me. When you look at this field, though, we saw that first race, and we go back to Zane Farrell after that invert in the first one. Kind of had to muscle his way through a little bit, but you're able to kind of slide into the guy on the outside of you, albeit it is an open wheel car. You don't want to do it a whole lot, but you're able to slide around and, kind of roll into the corner a little bit and roll into the guy in front of you and, kind of use that bumper a little bit. And these cars, and as long as the driver is able to handle it, they are a little bit forgiving. So we'll see what these pro drivers can do here in this division as Kenny Zeems and Trevor Catalanato about to lead this field to green for the first of 50 laps. 18 cars have taken the grid, and we are getting ready to see these drivers let it loose at North Wilkesboro. The Design Labs Twin 50s are underway. Green flag is out, and Kenny Zeems going to put the hammer down, but a great start on the outside by Catalanato, and they're going to be side by side going down into 1 and 2, and look at the run. Catalanato gets middle of the corner off. Sideways is Zeems. Give it to Catalanato.
Third place, Kyle Scisco moving into that second position, second line real quick. You see, takes a peek at the outside of Kenny Zeebs, thinks better of it, going to dip down low on the inside, heading into turn number 1 here. That car definitely hooked up the number 6 black and orange machine, side by side behind them as well. A little bit of a wiggle there for Christman on the outside. Check that, the number 90 is on the outside. That's going to be Ken Zeebs dropping back, losing positions early on here. Lap number 3 on the board as they cross the stripe, and you can see switched on over to that bottom side, trying to hold off Teddy Hodgson in the 55.
Slicing and dicing to try to get into that inside line and pick up any spot that they can. Now here comes Brian Kramer to the inside of Hogden in the 55 as they go side by side for that position. Side by side in behind him. And we've seen this once already tonight, Paul. Libby to the outside, Farrell to the inside as they continue on. Going to be Ryan Libby picking up that position.
One of the best battles I think we've seen ever here on Vidane TV was between these two drivers last race in the East Coast Winter League Light Series about an hour and a half ago. Zane Farrell, and the number 14 car, the number 46 of Ryan Libby. Bumper to bumper right now. They were bumper to bumper, side bumper to Nerf bar to front bumper. Those guys were all over each other in the last race and put on one heck of a show here on Vidane TV. Lots of give and take between both drivers. Not taking advantage where they shouldn't be, and good clean racing, good hard racing between the 14 and the 49. Looks like picking up right where they left off, Tim.
And Hodgson in the 55, he's had the two of Brian Kramer into that inside and just trying to get up there and kind of get that bite to the inside, but hasn't been able to make that pass. They get back to single file. It's kind of jammed up those guys in behind and almost jammed up Zane Farrell into the back of Ryan Libby. The 95 of Adam Gordon begins to work his way up to the outside and tries to dispatch Farrell back one more position. Up in front continues to be Trevor Catalinato leading. And we've got a battle on our hands for that top spot. Kenny Zeebs has not let him go away easy. And Kyle Scisco right there as well. 3 cars trying to break away from the rest of this field.
Scisco really in the catbird seat so far, running in the 3rd position. Front row seat for this battle for the lead spot. And you can see right off the front left tire, that's where he wants to be. He's able to see where these guys are both quicker. You can see they're not running exactly the same line, just a little bit higher for that second place machine of Kenny Zeebs in the 15. And you see it's almost falls in his tire tracks, and then he runs about a half a car length up towards the track. So really trying to feel out the racetrack, find out where the grip is and where the cars are faster and who's stronger where. So great driving from the number 6, doing his research early on, lap number 10.
And doesn't have a whole lot of time to do that research per se. In order for it to pay off, Paul, you got only 40 laps left in this race, and you got 2 quick drivers up in front. As long as you can keep tabs with them, caution flag is out on the speedway for the first time this evening into this pro feature, and it is Tyler Catalinato on the back straightaway in the 64 car that is around and trying to get that thing ready before the pace car comes up and passes him. But that will bring out our first yellow flag of the evening. We'll cue up the Reigns Energy Drink instant replay, and Paul, it didn't start with him, but it ended with him. Zane Farrell is the first one to go around in this mix.
We'll focus in on the number 14 first and see what went down. You can see Zane heading into the corner, gets a little bit of a bump. Not a big bump, and you can see he tries to straighten him back out, but unfortunately the drivers behind them know where to go, and that's what's got Tyler all crossed up in this mess in the number 64. The AC struggles to get the thing going. It's hard to really get those big modified tires to grip on the grass, but gets out in front of the pace car. He's able to stay on the lead lap. Going to restart back in the 18th position here once we go back to green, but definitely could have been a whole lot worse for the number 64 machine.
And we kind of saw a little bit of that in the first race. We talked about being able to muscle a car around and kind of lean into the guy in front of you. And Ray Fadaruso was the driver that got into Zane Farrell. Ray has been shown the rear for this restart, but he was able to get in there, and it wasn't a square hit, Paul, but it was a hit to the left rear that almost kind of, I don't want to say knocked him straight, but was enough for Zane to kind of save him when he gets up there as well. So not a bad wreck. It just so happened that the chain reaction ended up going back, and tough break for Ray. He'll have to work from the back of the field. Started position number 10. Mentioned not a whole lot of time to get to the front, but still plenty of time to make up a few positions, and we'll see what happens on this restart. Trevor Catalinato was able to get the lead on the outside on the initial start from Kenny Zeebs, but now Zeebs will have that outside line and an opportunity to get back at him.
Yeah, and it gives these drivers the opportunity, too, to kind of make sure everything is all right with the The steering and everything with the cars, the computers, all the connections are good and tight, and gives you a second to kind of clear your head and make sure you've got the solid game plan going forth here. Lap 15 on the board. We're working 50 in the first race. Just like the Lights, we're going to run a second 50 race, and we're going to be inverting the field. So one thing that may or may not play into factor of some of these guys' plans here is that we're going to be inverting the field. So the winner of the first race starts dead last, shotgun on the field in the second race, and the person that finishes shotgun on the field in the first place finishes first in the second race.
Yeah, so it gives the opportunity for the drivers that do well in this first race to, try to get a little bit back and work their way back to the front. We saw with Jim Windrow in the first race, the light division, he admitted he didn't really have a good first race. He's still trying to feel out the car and the racetrack, and was able to get back up there in the second one, get that track position, and with all the wild and crazy that happened at the end, was able to pick up a victory. So don't count on a guy like Mike Hopkins or Clayton Edney or Ryan Salvatore at the back of the field, because they could very well be at the front by the end of the evening. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Lap 16 completed this time by for Trevor Catalanato. Green flag will fly, and Catalanato has taken the outside line on this restart. Goes to the outside and will try to pick up that advantage and bring Jacob Christman along with him in the 41.
Gaggle of cars up front. The leader, Trevor Catalano, moving out to where he needs to be. Looks like single file for the front two, but still a bee's nest behind them. There you see Kenny Zeems in the 15 trying to take a peek low, trying to move into that second position. Maybe get some of these guys off the back, but don't look now. 55, Teddy Hodgson moving on the outside, making it work, gets on around the number 6 car, it looks like. That's going to move him. Nope, check that. Trying to get around the 90 car. Slips up just a little bit, backs up to the front bumper of Libby there in the pink car on the outside, and kind of finds a spot back in position. So great racing all the way over, all the way through this track.
Scisco gave a shot to Kenny Zeems, and now Ken Zeems ahead of the Scisco number 6. And Scisco was trying to use that bumper to get up there, goes to the inside, caution flag will fly, and that'll put a brake pedal on the battle there between those two. Adam Gordon is around it on the front straightaway, and a couple more around in corner number 1, so that will draw the caution. We'll queue up the Raise Energy Drink instant replay, and it looks like, at least from the 95 standpoint, Paul, he was caught in a Ryan Libby, Zane Farrell sandwich.
Yeah, those guys have been battling all night long. 2 races earlier tonight between the light division and those 2 drivers. And you can see here, Libby hits the wall just a little bit, and it looks like it just kind of nudges the 95 around. And there you see some big contact from that black, red, and yellow car there. But a lot of damage on the number 95. He does get this thing on the lead lap. He gets out in front of the pace car. Probably going to come down, maybe use one of those quick repairs on pit road, see if he can get a new car. A lot of ground to make up with 21 of these laps in the books already, so we'll see what he can do.
It's shaken up the front a little bit with Catalanato starting on the outside on that last restart. It's opened up Jacob Christman to move to position number 2. Kenny Zeems and Ken Zeems will line up on the second row with Kyle Scisco in position number 5. Scisco kind of got shoveled in line just a little bit there with these Kenny Zeems and Ken Zeems machines, and Teddy Hodgson battling there as well for one of those spots. It kind of threw Scisco off his game a little bit, but now he is still in the top 5. He'll start on the inside of row number 3, so he'll have an opportunity to try to get what he gained, or what he lost back. Started in 3rd, was running up in the top 2, and now finds his way to position number 5. So keep an eye on that 6 car as we continue on throughout this evening, as Catalanato continues to lead this one. Started second, had that run on the outside on the initial start, started on the outside as the leader on that last one, and we'll see what he chooses this time. But Christman having a great run, methodically working up. He's up to position number 2, Paul.
Yeah, we've seen him work his way up through the top 10. A couple of black and orange cars that we saw battling side by side earlier on towards the start, but 41 in a really good spot here, running in the second position. Lights still on in the iRacing Mustang pace car, so going to give these drivers another opportunity, another lap around this track to kind of think about what's going on. But yeah, Jacob Christman, great race here so far. Hasn't led any laps here, but really in a good spot. This highline seems like it's starting to kind of come in a little bit, depending on the driver and the setup. One of the major differences between the Pro Series that you're watching now and the Light Series that you watched here on Vidane TV about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, the Light Series runs fixed setups. Those setups are provided by McConey Setup Shop. And be sure to check those guys out on Facebook and on the web. But here in the Pro Series, these drivers are able to make their own setups. So they're able to kind of tweak it to their style, and there's a lot of drivers that essentially work together as teams to try and get similar setups. So a lot of times you'll see a paint scheme that looks like it could be a teammate, and they're running up towards the front together. It's because they work together on the setup, Tim.
Well, there you go, and we'll see what they can do from this restart on. We will cross the halfway point this time by, so we'll have 25 down and 25 to go in race number 1 of the Design Labs Twin 50s. Pace car is in. Catalinato has chosen the outside line. Christman to the inside. Green flag flies. We'll see where Zeems goes in row number 2, and he might get turned for one. Kenny Zeems in the 15 is going to go around, and that is going to draw the yellow flag, and Ryan Libby gets crossed up ahead of them.
Libby gets sent around and catches a car. Not the same story for Kenny Zeems there in the number 15. Going to have to restart in the back of the field, but we're going to pull up the Raise Energy Drink Instant Replay. And again, be sure to check out repsports.com. Use that promo code Vidane TV. Get yourself 15% off at checkout. And we'll take it a look here. We're looking at the 15 second car on the inside line. Gets a little bit of a shock ski there from the number 8-6. And as he backed off, the 6 got a shot as well, and it sent him on around. And there you see the smoke from Ryan Libby, who did a great job saving that race car. You saw that shot live. But some great heads-up driving from Libby all the way throughout to both of these light and these pro races.
And it looks like Kyle Scisco will be shown the rear of the field for his role in that one. And when you look at that replay, Paul, Kyle gets into him going down to the corner, and it's almost like he doesn't let off that bumper, but on the other side, if he lets off the bumper, he's likely getting turned by the 2. Either way, whatever the choice is, Scisco is going to be shown the rear for his involvement in that incident. So now the revolving door continues on, and we talked about 5, 10, 15 laps ago about a guy like Mike Hopkins might have a chance at getting up there and battling for the second race if he catches that invert. Well, he's up to position number 5 now. He might have a shot at winning this one here. Mike Hopkins, the 78, started in 17th, all the way up to 5th, 30 laps into this thing.
Really laying the smackdown on the field on his way up through and doing it pretty quietly and methodically. Haven't really made too much noise out of that machine, so we haven't really paid too much attention, but now we're going to have to keep our eyes open up into that top 5. 20 laps to go. Probably going to restart with 18 or 19 laps to go here in race number 1 of these Twin 50s. Again, brought to you by Design Lab. Be sure to check those guys out on Facebook. Lots of real racing designs and sim racing designs and logos and all sorts of branding opportunities as well. Great to have that company jump on and hook us up here. Championship night. Was still talking after the light race earlier this evening. We spoke to race official Dylan Kopech about the point standings, and well, he was actually too busy taking photos, so he was taking photos of the race and was going to put together all the official point standings. We're going to come out with a champion, and we're going to interview that champion as well here after the Pro Series race. But pretty cool to have 2 races here, 2 series, wrapping up double championship night. The East Coast Winter League crowning a champion in both the Light Series and the Pro Series as the lights turn off in the iRacing Mustang pace car, getting these drivers lined up 2 by 2 by 2 all the way through. Going to see what he can do here for the last 18 laps on the racetrack.
Catalinato has been the driver that has led since the drop of the green flag. He will take it once again from the outside line. Jacob Christman to the inside. Ken Zeems in the 90. Teddy Hongden on the outside. Good to see the 55 up here. He's going to be right behind that leader when we go green. He'll have an opportunity to try to take a top 3 position here. Pace car is in. Leader in control. Catalinato sees the green flag. We are back underway. Keep an eye on Brian Kramer as well as worked his way up into the top 5 from the outside line. There's Jacob Christman taking a peek to the inside, but nothing doing there. Catalinato to the top spot again.
Single file for the front 2 cars, side by side for the 3rd spot. Check that. They straighten it out, and now they're going to try and get too wide for the 2nd position. The 90 going to dip down low after looking high. The last corner doesn't quite make it happen, so he's going to fall in the tire tracks. 55 machine, he's starting to get hungry. You can see the top 3, the podium finish there in front of his bumper, trying to move that number 55 machine up to the 3rd spot. Oh, big wreck behind him. Huge wreck. Looks like it took out at least a third of the field there, Tim.
Yeah, a big wreck back there, and that will bring out the caution flag once again. And there's 2 cars stuck up in the corner. One of them's Ryan Libby, Clayton Edney being the other one involved in that one as Clayton tries to get around the stalled car of Libby, and the field is going to go by, so these 2 are going to go 1 lap down, and we'll cue up the Rays Energy Drink Instant Replay. And, Paul, what happened?
Yeah, we're gonna have to take a look at this one from the blimp because there's a lot of cars involved here in the Rays Energy Drink Instant Replay. Focus in that bright pink car center of your screen. That's Ryan Libby, who was taking the brunt of the wrecks here. He moves down low, wiggles just a little bit. See just a little bit of contact there. You can see the contact. The 2 car actually looks like he got up into Zane Farrell. He'll combine the 2 of Farrell and Libby. We see these guys still racing side by side, even 2.5 races later, but just a little bit of contact, a couple of cars going for the same piece of real estate, and it's just one of those deals, Tim. You can't have 2 cars in the same place at the same time.
So that'll put us under the caution flag one more time. Catalanato continues to lead this. He's been getting really good at the restarts, especially on that outside line. Christman going to line up in second, and really the top 5 hasn't changed a whole lot with the exception of Brian Kramer making his way up into the top 5. The 2 started on the outside of the 3rd row, was able to work his way past Mike Hopkins. So essentially same row, different lines as we go back to green the next time. Will be Kramer to the inside, Hopkins to the outside, Adam Gordon. Look at Kyle Scisco all the way back up to position number 8 through all of that. He's worked his way back up a couple of positions and still has an opportunity trying to rally from the back. Kenny Zeems, same song, different verse, will line up in 10th in behind him. Tyler Catalanato back there as well has had some issues early in this race. Zane Farrell is tail end of this line. So there's some drivers that could still make some waves here, Paul, but they are slowly running at a time. I say slowly with all these caution laps that we have, but they're quickly on the other side of it. We're already in the second half of this race. We'll have 13 to go when we come back across the stripe.
18 drivers started this race. 18 drivers are still in this race, although Ryan Libby's still getting service done on pit road, and it looks like, according to timing and scoring, Zane Farrell going to be the last car on the lead lap in the 16th position. But if the Light Series earlier on tonight, Tim, told us anything can happen here at North Wilkesboro Speedway, especially here in the East Coast Winter League. We saw some mayhem on the last lap of the championship race in the Light Series. Will we see that here at one race? We got this first race here, and then the championship race right after it. Twin 50s here tonight at the Speedway, brought to you by Design Labs. Really looking forward to it. But heading into turn number 3, iRacing Mustang pace cars taking a peek down pit road. He's going to come down, grab himself a cold soda and maybe a hot dog, and leave these drivers back on the track. Slowly bringing them down. Green flag in the air. Great jump for the number 41 of Jacob Christman. He's going to move into the lead around Trevor Catalano. Teddy Hodgson moved into the 3rd place briefly, but still side by side for that 3rd position between Teddy and Ken Zeems.
That inside line was ready to go. Had a couple of bumpers being exchanged from about row 4 or 5 on back, but they are at it and ready to go. Now Catalanato for the first time this evening playing chase to somebody. It's Jacob Christman up in front. Ken Zeems in position number 3. Teddy Hogden and Brian Kramer complete your top 5, but Kyle Scisco is on the move. He's trying to get past the 78 car of Mike Hopkins. In front of him, Kramer going to the inside of Teddy Hogden. The top 3 have broken away from what is the battle for about 4th on back as Scisco under the 78 and putting the 2 of Kramer under fire.
Lots of action still all the way around this racetrack here, Tim. The front couple of cars about single file. Kenny Zeems dipped way down low to try and see if he could make something stick, but doesn't really close in on those leaders. And there you can see just Trevor Catalano all over the back bumper of Jacob Christman, and going to shoot down low on the front stretch across the stripe. Think better of it. Definitely feels like he's got a little bit faster car, but even as he closes the gap on that back bumper, the 90 slowly creeping back in. Ken Zeems in the catbird seat in that 3rd position, a front row seat rather, to this first place battle.
Catalanato let the lead go, and he's kind of saying to Jacob Christman, okay, you led a couple of laps, now let me back at it. You're going to come by next time and have 6 laps to go, and we saw it in the second light race where Zane Farrell kind of got to the inside of the 46 of Libby and kind of had to use him up maybe just a little bit to get him off that inside line or give him enough room on the inside line. Jacob Christman has that lead, and he has not left that inside line. Right there, just kind of cuts it down to that berm, kind of cuts it down to the curb, and doesn't let Catalinato have that spot. He's going to have to continue to do that and not get loose like he did right there and open half of a door, because that's all he's going to need. You're right on board with Ken Zeems looking at that battle in front. There is the view from Trevor Catalinato's car. He can't give him a half line, Paul, because if he does, he's likely going to get into him and likely going to send him up the racetrack, and it was close right there.
Those front rear bumpers lined right up next to each other. You could barely put a piece of paper in between the two of them. There's a little bit of a bump from the number 54. Great seat for it. Last time by across the stripe, the flagman shows him a high five. 5 laps to go. Down low for Trevor Catalano on the number 54. A little bit of contact. Shooting the number 41 up the track just a little ways, side by side at the line. Give it to number 41, but this time by is not next time by. Still side by side, door to door for the first position. Finally drops back down. Took a shot down on the inside, Tim. Didn't quite work.
Christman tried to diamond corner number 1 off, and he almost got turned for his efforts with Catalano still down there on the inside. But now Catalano has to reset himself, and Ken Zeems right in behind, waiting to try to take away what could be a win here. They'll come by this time, little bump. They'll come to the white flag. 1 lap to go at the stripe. The 54 of Catalinato all over the back bumper of Christman. Down into 1 and 2 for the final time. Another shot in the shorts. Down into 1. The 41 seems to get off these corners well, but the 54 is there. And as he licked the stamp one final time. Down into corner number 3. Indeed, he will. He'll get the 41 up off the line. Get him to the inside. Side by side coming to the stripe. It's going to be the 41 of Jacob Christman going to victory lane.
Another 6 inches, Tim. That would have been a textbook example of the bump and run and make it work in the last lap. Great racing, good, clean, hard, short track racing between Christman and Catalano. Christman holding on by just barely the front nose of that car. Great racing in race number 1. We're going to line them up. We got 5 minutes here of warm-up between race number 1 and race number 2. So maybe see, it doesn't look like these drivers are too interested in talking to the media right now. They want to get right back into the cars, get some warm-up laps done, and head on to race number 2. Twin 50s here tonight, brought to you by Design Labs. Again, be sure to check those guys out on Facebook. They do a lot of real racing logos and designs and wraps and all that good stuff, and it's a really good company to check out, and we want to thank them for signing on board here for tonight's race.
And I think we've got Jacob Christman in here. We'll get a couple of words with our winner from race number 1. Jake, you obviously felt the pressure from behind from the 54 of Catalano, but let's talk about the finish of that one. Couple of inches. How relieved are you to get that win?
Oh yeah, definitely relieved. I got pretty excited there at the end. Trevor was giving me a lot of pressure and got pretty physical, but we both managed to keep it straight, so it worked out and had a lot of fun.
We saw the 54 take that outside line on numerous restarts. You were able to get it on the inside. How key are these restarts, especially here at North Wilkesboro, where it seems like track position is really key?
Yeah, for sure. Both lanes are really, really close, and especially on restarts, it seems like the top can kind of carry the corner speed off of turn 2 and give them the option. But I got a good jump on that last restart, and it gave you track position, and I was able to hold off Trevor there at the end.
50 laps, you're now going to start in position number 18 when we re-roll this thing. What's the strategy to get to the front with only 50 laps?
I obviously got to be really fast in my decisions and try to take every opportunity I can get. But also being smart. 50 laps is short, but it's not too short. So definitely have some time to get up there and see what we can do.
Who do you have in this race car? Who would you like to thank to get this victory under your belt in race number 1?
Yep, got to thank my sponsor, Stan Graver Auto Sales and Service, for their help and support, my family and friends, for sure.
That's Jacob Christman. Good luck in race number 2.
Thank you.
There you go, Paul. Race number 1 winner. We'll start position number, it'd be 18 by the time we take Dylan Kopech out of the top of that. But it might be a little bit of a surprise if Dylan were to hop in the race car and, get that good track position, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time, wouldn't be the last time we saw Dylan Kopech jump into a race car, and we've definitely seen him do it here in the East Coast Winter League, so definitely a possibility. Never say never, as they say, but Kyle Scisco on the top of the board right now for race number 2, final practice, as these drivers just getting done with double duty for a lot of these drivers, quadruple duty for some of these drivers as well. Ryan Libby and St. Farrell, handful of drivers in this Pro Series race ran the 2 Light Series races earlier on. So you got to wonder if attrition's going to play any kind of battle in this. Kind of working on a little bit of fatigue from doing a lot of racing here.
I don't know if it will or not, but I know with some of the track position that some of these drivers do and do not have, I think we're going to see a battle on our hands. Mike Hopkins didn't get the finish he wanted to after that race, but he's going to start in position number 5. He had a top 5 run going in that first race. Ryan Libby is going to essentially start on the pole. With the way we have the invert, he'll move up from 3rd up to position number 1. So got some drivers with some track position. We've seen these drivers not afraid to lean into another driver and maybe move them out of the way a little bit. So this is going to be a very fun race, especially with guys like Trevor Catalano, Jacob Christman, and those guys starting at the back of the field. And was looking at the Facebook chat. I want to say hello to Brent Roy. I know he enjoys these different race cars. I'm sure he would love to be in this race. We'll see him with Neps later on this week, but I don't know if he has a tour mod sitting in the virtual garage to even come out and play with us. So that would be there's something that he's going to have to look into, and maybe he can get on the racetrack with the East Coast Winter League on the next season.
Absolutely. Even in Canada, you guys have an East Coast, so he's still technically East Coast Winter League. So we might have to try and pull the strings and make that happen. Throw a Canadian in the mix here, see if we can't rattle the cages just a little bit. And back to that short track, Corey Casagrande in there saying they need a little bit of Casagrande loving in this Pro Series race. Had a pretty decent showing. I believe he finished fourth in the second race during the Light Series. And shout out to Scott Randell sending in some stars in the Facebook chat. Appreciate that. And anybody that's supports the Facebook streams, we always appreciate that as well. Any other ways you wanted to support us, you could actually shoot on over to vidane.net/shop and grab a TV, Vidane TV t-shirts, hooded sweatshirts, all sorts of neat stuff over there with the Vidane TV logo on it, and let your friends know that you get entertained by this internet racing deal, and it's pretty fun to watch here on Vidane TV. Racing all 7 nights this week, and there's probably like a 12-day stretch here that we're working on, but getting everybody out to the grid. Dylan Kopech scheduled to be on the pole, but started last or finished last on the last race because he didn't run any laps in the race official booth. So gonna hand the pole position over to Tyler Catalano, and at 3rd place gonna be Ryan Libby.
And then you got Ray Fataruso, who had that issue early in the race, was put to the back of the field. So he'll start technically in 4th, technically in 4th. We'll move that inside lineup and put Mike Hopkins in there in row number 2, and you'll be able to see where your favorite driver is slated to start on the top of your screen through the ticker. So we'll see what transpires here. Ryan Libby, we showed earlier tonight in the light division, was quick with the open setups. He's still decently quick, maybe not the speed that guys like Christman and Trevor Catalano and Ken Zeems and those guys had at the back of the field, but he still has a little bit of speed in that race car, and he definitely has track position.
And there you can see Dylan Kopech does not make the call. Going to be a race official as much as he wanted to race this race here, the final race at North Wilkesboro Speedway. But it's time to crown a champion, so we need all the eyes on the racing now we can get. That's going to slide Ryan Libby in that 46 machine up to that P1 spot on the inside. Absolutely an advantage here. He's going to be having the 64 of Tyler Catalano on the outside. And man, race number 1 in the books. Lots of action. We found out just how strong some of the Nerf bars are on these race cars. Getting ready to do race number 2. Race number 4 for some of these drivers. Ryan Libby, one of the drivers that pulling quadruple duty. 2 races in the Light Series, 2 races in the Pro Series. Pace car is going to make that hard left-hand turn in a lap. Haha, I got you going that time. Give these drivers one more lap to think about it and think about where they're going to be on the racetrack.
Going to come by this time and pull into the infield, and we'll keep a half eye on that back of the pack as well with the full field invert. You got some really quick cars at the back of the pack. You got some quick cars up in front that did not maybe get the finish that they wanted to in race number 1. And this is going to be fun to watch and see who's able to slice through the field and maybe who's able to establish a lead up near the front of this field It's going to be Ryan Libby and Tyler Catalanato going to lead this field to green first to 50 laps in race number 2. Green flag is up, and we are underway. Catalanato gets a shot from Fataruso on the back Nerf bar, but no harm, no foul. We're still straight.
Little bit of a wiggle, and you can see he loses a little bit of track position, but is able to get single file behind Ryan Libby. Easy enough for me to say. Single file front 2 side by sides. Check that. Single file top 3. Looks like it may be the top 5 or 6. No, we're going to have a battle side by side, almost 3 wide there for the 4th position. Zane Farrell very quickly moving himself into the picture. We've got a caution out on the speedway. Somebody around in the back of the pack, it looks like.
Yeah, it's the back of the pack, and it's a couple of those fast cars. Kyle Scisco being one of them that went around, and he may have had help from the 41 of your race number 1 winner, Jacob Christman. It's a close call, Paul. What happened on the Raise Energy Drink instant replay?
Yeah, we give it to you in real time here, and there you can see the 6 car, Scisco on the outside. Tries to move down low, and a little black and orange medley there. The 41 car was there. Didn't look like it was a big hit or anything like that. Just kind of rubbing the Nerf bars enough to get the wheels or the tires off the ground in the 41 car, and then they get sent back on around. So didn't get passed by the pace car. Didn't hit anything too hard. Still going to be able to do battle here. Still 18 cars on the lead lap of the 18 starters. So going to have to restart in the back here, Tim, but definitely could have been a whole lot worse than it was.
It almost looked like the car on the outside that he was battling with kind of made that one little sharp move to the inside. And I don't want to say sharp move because that's not what it was, but it almost looked like Scisco reacted, didn't think the 41 was going to be there. But as you mentioned, no harm, no foul. Gets around, no damage to that race car. Doesn't have to use a quick repair, and it will join us at the rear of the field. The tough break for him is that he started back there. He started 16th, and he had 50 laps to go. He'll start 18th now, and he'll likely have 43, 44 laps to get it done. For Ryan Libby up in front, he's led since the drop of the green flag, albeit we haven't had a whole lot of laps in this one yet. We'll complete 5 laps this time by. Mike Hopkins was able to take position number 3 away on that exchange. Ray Fataruso was back to position number 4, and Russell Peets has made his way up to position number 5, started in position number 7, which means he finished 13th in race number 1. So he's found his way to a top 5 position with Zane Farrell and Jason Ricker not too far in behind. And speaking of guys like Zane Farrell and Jason Ricker, it's a good time to let everybody know that coming up tomorrow is the NEP Series, the Grand National Shift Marketing and Design Series, back on the racetrack, and you'll be able to see guys like Zane Farrell and Jason Ricker and Ryan Libby go at it and put on a show. That should be fun, so be sure to tune in tomorrow night for the Grand National Series presented by Shift Marketing and Design for the NEP Series, Monday evening. Moving around a couple of their races, and we'll see the Super Trucks, I'm sure, at the near the end of the week. Is that the case, Paul?
Yeah, 3 races this week underneath the NEP's banner of the Monday night Grand National Series race. Thursday night, the Shift Marketing and Design, a Grand National race running race number 2. And then Friday night, the NEP Super Truck Series. Pretty cool little team deal. They have 6 teams of 4 different drivers, and only the top 3 drivers of each team score points for the team, and that's where the championship goes to at the end of the season. And Vidane TV, very happy to be carrying that entire season. You'll be able to check that out live on Friday nights, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time start. But speaking of starts, another restart here. Lap number 7 going to cross the stripe. Lap number 8, Ryan Libby still down low, leading this race where he started. Tyler Catalano in the 64. Up on the high side, does not go. 3 wide for second. Ryan Libby gets a shot. Oh, we're going to be under caution here. Zane Farrell, big hit. Lots of cars, pretty much the whole field got at least a little piece of that. And it looks like we got ourselves a garage sale coming on turn number 1 here, Tim.
Yeah, we'll take a look back at that Raise Energy Drink instant replay. But for the second consecutive start, it starts with the 26 of Ray Fataruso anticipating the restart, and then they all get bunched up in behind. The first one, the initial start wasn't bad. This one here gets to the inside, but he had a little bit of rear-end encouragement once he got to the inside from Zane Farrell. Let's look at it from the blimp.
Rear-end encouragement, one of the things that you only hear here on Vidane TV, and it looks like you said, Tim, a little bit of bumper car action, and it's really tough to tough to really put that on anybody, really. There was a lot of involvement all the way around the racetrack and a lot of big hits. There you can see the purple car, black smoke coming out of the back of that. Kenny Zeems around, Scisco in the 6 kind of recovering, Christman in the 41, race number 1 winner. So lots of damaged cars in the back of the pack. Luckily, these guys do have a quick repair in this series. I believe they may even have 2 of them. But going to be a couple of drivers on pit road. Hopkins, Catalano, Trevor, Okulo, Rickner, and Christman all down on pit road currently.
Have you gone to the Brent Roy school of let's give everybody fast repairs?
I don't believe I have, no.
Because we only have 1 tonight, which is more than 0, and it's less than 2. But we have 1 quick repair tonight in this Pro Division. They have 0 sets of tires in the pit, so they can't change the tires. But for those guys that just are coming off pit road, they took their quick repair. The bad news, Paul, is that they took their quick repair on lap 10. So they don't have a quick repair left if something big like that happens again. So now it's kind of conserve your stuff, and it's kind of shaking up the top 5 a little bit outside the top 3. Ryan Libby, Tyler Catalano, and Ray Fataruso, your top 3. Now it's Ryan Salvatore in position number 4. We mentioned those drivers that have done quadruple duty per se, and this is their 4th 50-lap feature of the evening here at North Wilkesboro. Same can be said for Ryan Salvatore, currently running in position number 4. Had a top 3 finish in one of the light division features earlier on this evening. And then Brian Kramer in position number 5, finished in position number 6 in race number 1. So trying to better that at least a little bit here with the 2 cars sitting in that 5th place spot with Kenny Zeems, Russell Peets, Ken Zeems. Kyle Scisco has moved his way up, and Trevor Catalano, your top 10, as the field begins to form up in behind the pace car. Lights should be out this time by, and we should be green next time by across the stripe. We'll have 13 laps complete when we go back to green.
Lining them back up, stacking them up. Going to see where they fall. Ryan Libby very strong, and this is 3rd race of the evening. Great racing earlier on in the Light Series division here in the East Coast Winter League, and Ryan Libby picking up where he left off, up towards the front. You can see holding on to this lead position, lights off in the pace car, 2 by 2 all the way through. And we're going to take a restart. There goes the left-hand turn. We're going to wait for the green flag to drop, and there it is, hammer down. 46 gets a great shot, but still side by side heading into 1 with the 64 right on the outside rear bumper. He's going to see if he can try and maybe make a little bit of a run on the outside, see if he can keep up with Ryan Libby, and there you see a great run on the outside. Caution back out on the speedway.
Oh, Ryan Salvatore's up and over in the 12 car. Hard hit for Salvatore. He restarted in position number 4, and we'll look at the Raise Energy Drink instant replay here in a bit, and I think the only car maybe to not hit him was the pace car, because the whole field, Paul, was coming at him.
There you can see on the instant replay, and oh man, I'll back that up just in case you didn't catch it. Really slammed the nose of that car into the exit of the racetrack. That was a nasty hit. Kenny Zeems pushing him around, and there you can see a couple of flippy-doos. We're going to do some Tony Hawk skateboarding tricks off the wall. We're going to stick the landing. All 4 tires on the ground. I think the motor has been expired in that car. You can see just kind of rolling. So that might be it for Ryan Salvatore. He's going to tow that race car down to pit lane and see if he can maybe use that fast repair. But multiple laps down, the 12 car is going to end up being after that wreck.
Trevor Catalano is down on pit road, I believe, as well to get service on his race car. But when you look at this field, Dylan Kopak, I believe, just gave these guys a couple of words of encouragement and told them, boys, your restarts are now single file. So Trevor Catalano is done for the evening. He has retired his number 54 car. So he is done. We'll see what Ryan Libby and Tyler can do up in front. Russell Peets has made his way up into the top 5 with Kyle Scisco in position number 6. I think that's probably the story of the night, Paul. Started at the back of the field, was the first caution flag of the evening. I think we've got 1 complete lap of green in this race so far, and he's already up to 6th.
Not a lot of time to move your positions up towards the front. Lots of caution flags here tonight. A couple of drivers working. There you can see caution laps 14. We got 17 on the board. So rough start here in the Pro Series, but Couple of encouraging words there from the race official Dylan Kopech, and letting these drivers know that there are millions and millions of people watching at home, so we need to clean this racing up and let these fans know we're here to entertain, and we want to entertain the masses here on Vidane TV. So kind of working the caution laps here. Lights still on in the pace car. Ryan Libby up front, Tyler Catalano second, Ray Fataruso third, Ryan Kramer fourth, and Russell Peets in the fifth position. And it's pretty good racing earlier on in the Light Series, and we're just kind of waiting for these guys to get green flag fever here in the Pro Series and see if we can make a couple of laps.
The 64 tried to pull up and go double file. No, sir. We're going single file racing. And I think we've all been in the shoes, Paul, whether it's in the Dylan Kopech shoes when you're a race controller, maybe you're a race fan and you're watching the race, or you're sitting inside these race cars as drivers, or you get a little bit frustrated, but you have to kind of park that and try to look forward and look ahead and try to start with a clean sheet of paper. But if you've been beat around a little bit in the first couple laps, it's hard to do that. Single file restart, green flag flies, we're back underway. Ryan Libby will lead them down into corner number one, and already side by side looks like Kyle Scisco to the outside trying to make something happen.
Trying to make it stick, a little bit of contact between he and the 191 machine of Russell Peets. No harm, no foul. They keep everything going right and give the spot to Kyle Scisco. Going to set his sights in on the fourth position, driver number 2. That's going to be Brian Kramer. And right up to the back bumper, you can see Kramer all over the back bumper of Ray Fataruso there, and the number 26 as well. That's going to shoot him up high. Ryan Scisco going to jump up on the high side, see if he can maybe close in on the back bumper of the 26.
Scisco has been the driver that has led the charge. Oh, caution flag flies. We're back under the yellow flag. I was about to say Kyle Scisco was the driver that's kind of led the charge in the back of the field, as Jason Ricker is the one around in the corner to bring the caution flag out. Scisco will restart in fifth. He'll have an inside starting position if we go back to double file, but that's a big if. What happened on this Rays Energy replay?
Taking a peek there, the 9 car gets a little bit of a shot ski there from the 191. Teddy Hodgson, little bit of damage trying to get by that, but doesn't look like it's going to affect the 55 too much. But a couple of big hits here for the number 9, Jason Ricker. So he's still on the lead lap, it looks like. Doesn't look like there's anything terminally wrong with that race car. Going to restart back here in the 15th position. So just about halfway. Probably going to get the restart on about lap 26. Still a few laps here, especially with these caution laps. Still time to kind of move your way up towards the front.
So the 191 of Peets has been shown the rear of the field for this ensuing restart, and it looks like we will still be single file on the restarts. We will cross the halfway point in a couple laps. So Ryan Libby has done what he needed to do. He's led all the laps so far. Catalanato in second, Fataruso in a third. They haven't figured out. Kramer in fourth, and Scisco in position number 5. Zane Farrell has worked his way up to position number 6. So the 14, we've seen him up and down and back and forth all night long, but now he has found his way to knocking on the door of a top 5 run here. Hogden, Okula, Gordon, and Edney, your top 10 as we work around under this caution flag. Your race number 1 winner, Jacob Christman, is sitting back in position number 12. So he's had a tough race to get back up towards the front of the field. And Paul, with no really green flag laps or a green flag run to do it, he's been trying to just pick away what he can, I guess, with these cars that end up going spinning in front of him.
A little bit of race of attrition here for the Pro Series, the Design Lab 50, the first one of 2 here this evening. And you're exactly right. It's really tough to pass. Well, it's impossible to pass drivers under caution. So a lot of these drivers really nailing the restarts and kind of working their way up towards the front of the pack. But man, oh man, it's tough. We're getting ready to get another green flag or another restart here. Looks like it's going to be another single file restart. Lights are still on the pace car, but race official Dylan Kopech letting everybody know this is we got to clean it up. We got to get going. We got to burn some laps. We still got a second race here to run.
So we continue to run under the caution flag. Pace car lights are on. They should be off this time by. Indeed they are. So we will go back to green in a 1-lap time. Ryan Libby, Tyler Catalanato, and Ray Fataruso have been the drivers in the top 3 for most of this race. And Now it's a matter of who can get up here and make a run in the final, what will be 23 laps of competition. Libby will lead this field back to the green flag, and we'll see what he can do, and hugs that wall up to the outside to make sure nobody gets around him on this restart. And Catalano right to his back bumper. He's got that Nerf bar flirting with the back bumper of the number 46. Green flag flies. We're back underway, and look at Fataruso already on the hop. Tried to go to the inside line on the 64. Couldn't get there. They'll go single file through the corner. Keep an eye on that 26 as he tries to make a move.
Still single file for the front five, but the lines are very, very different for each of these drivers. Ryan Libby up front has about an 8-car length lead over the number 64 of Tyler Catalano. Ray Fataruso holding on to that third position, trying to make something happen. Looks like the battle heating up there for fourth place. The 2-car trying to hold off Kyle Scisco, making that run. Moved himself into the top 5. He's trying to move up in the fourth.
Trying to move up late in this race, Kyle Scisco in the top 5. Trying to get by Kramer. Zane Farrell had a moment. We got one sitting on pit road. We stay green flag racing, though. Zane Farrell almost had a moment with Teddy Hogden, got sideways in front of him as he battles to try to get a top 5 run into this, and he smacks the wall on the front straightaway, does Farrell. It's now go time, 20 laps to go in race number 2.
That black smoke that you're seeing belongs to the number 78 of Mike Hopkins. He's sitting on pit road. I believe that car may have finally expired for the evening. Not sure what put him down there, but able to get down to the pit road without the caution flag coming out. Battle right now for fourth place, side by side. The number 2 car is, or the number 6 car, check that, Scisco, trying to get around Fataruso, and he does. And as Fataruso does, backs into Zane Farrell. Zane Farrell tries to correct it, sideways, flips over on his lid, sticks the landing, points it in the right direction. Going to lose a lot of track position here, Tim. And going to, well, he gets a little bit of a shot there from the 95, so not really entirely sure what that was all about, but we'll back this up and give it to you from the instant replay, brought to you by Ray's Energy Drink.
And that really wasn't at the front of this, Paul. It starts with the 9 or the 6 of Scisco, and they're all battling really hard. I don't think this is Zane's fault, but chain reaction. Let's roll the replay and see what happened.
Taking a look from the chopper view, and there you can see the 6 to 25 get in together, and the 14 really had nowhere to go as he backs it up, and just kind of as he gets wrecked, you know, you can see there was some big heavy contact between he and I believe that was the 95 of Adam Gordon, but you can see just really nowhere for Zane to go. He gets a little bit of a shot from Teddy Hodgson. Teddy's able to get away scot-free, and just a right-hand turn kind of T-bones the 95, so I can get the frustration, but I don't really get the retaliation that you saw there from the 95. No more damage done, but I don't understand the shot.
And I think we're getting to the point where these guys have used their quick repair. So Adam Gordon sitting on pit road, Zane Farrell sitting on pit road, and they're joined by about almost half the field now, Paul, as the 9 of Clayton Edney was down on pit road, and I believe he has called it a night. Kenny Zeems has called it an official night in the 15. He's been out for a few laps, and Adam Gordon officially behind the wall. So we are down to, I believe, 8 cars on the lead lap. A couple of more cars out on this racetrack, Ryan. Salvatore, Teddy Hogden is behind the wall as well. He is done for the evening. So we're down to about 10 cars to finish off this race. We'll have a restart with less than 15 laps to go, and we'll see who comes out on top. It's been an easy race for Libby.
Yeah, holding on to that top spot, and lights still on the iRacing Mustang pace car. Going to do a couple more laps under caution here, and according to timing and scoring, the top 5 drivers have not been down pit road, so they haven't used their quick repairs yet. That's Libby, Catalano, Kramer, Scisco, and Fataruso. Everybody else has been on pit road, and there aren't any tires on pit road for these drivers to put on the race cars, so really the only reason you'd be doing that is to either take the quick repair or repair some damage here. North Wilkesboro, a little bit of a race of attrition here in the Pro Series for the East Coast Winter League, but we're going to get through it. We got restart coming. Looks like we're going to have it at about 11 laps to go. Ryan Libby currently leading them down.
Lights still on atop the pace car. They should be out this time by, so if that's the case, we'll have a restart with 12 laps remaining. Catalano in behind in second, Kramer third, Scisco, Fataruso your top 5, and that restart kind of a little bit wild, Paul. It's shuffled a couple of drivers around. Scisco is able to get up to position number 4. Fataruso has fallen back to position number 5, but this thing is far from over. We have 8 drivers on the lead lap. We have, I believe, 9 drivers total still on the racetrack, so we'll see who can come out on top of this one and see who ends up with the Design Lab Twin 50 number 2 race win. Ryan Libby has led since we dropped the green flag. He's got 12 more laps to seal the deal. Green flag flies. We're back underway.
Another single file restart. All the drivers holding on to the high side, making sure that they don't get passed up by the wall, and everybody's still single file. 3 wide towards the back. There you can see Christman, the race number 1 winner. Kenny Seams in a 90, and I believe that's the 41 of Christman, back with Ryan Salvatore. Kind of taking a peek here. That's the 4 of Sean Okala there in the purple car. Great racing. Looks like they gathered it back up, single file, but sketchy situation earlier on. They get the better of it. Ryan Libby still leading the 3-way dance for the 2nd position. Getting an attack there from Brian Kramer, trying to get into the 2nd spot.
Kramer almost able to take position number 2. Catalano was up the hill the last time by, and Kyle Scisco right at their back door. Oh, and there's a turn. 64 gets turned by the 2, and that will draw the caution.
Another opportunity to pull up the Raise Energy Drink Instant Replay, and we want to make sure you shoot on over to, repsports.com. Use that promo code Vidane TV. Get yourself 15% off at checkout. They've got all sorts of good stuff, pre-workout powder and sleep aids and protein powder, all that good stuff. So check those guys out and let them know Vidane TV sent you. But I'm going to pull up the replay here. These drivers running up towards the front, and you can see the 2 car just kind of gets a little bit squirrely, gets into the back of the 64 and sends them on around. Nothing, no big damage or anything like that. And the 64 backs it down the track and gets her pointed in the right direction, and he is going to rejoin this field. Looks like he's going to stack back up in the 7th position.
So Libby continues to lead this thing. We'll have at least one more restart, and I believe this is 2 green-white checkers at the end if we absolutely need it, Paul. So he and now Scisco sits in position number 2 because those 2 drivers that were involved are at the back now. Kramer has been shown the rear of the field, and I know he's having a conversation with the series director Dylan Kopech, but we saw that on the replay, Paul. It looked like the first hit, trying to get to that inside line. He didn't have the line to the inside, didn't have the Nerf bar there, just enough to try to get him out of the groove, and the second shot, he just didn't let up, so they'll go to the back of the field, and they'll have their little discussion for about 7th and 8th place right now, as we're showing 8 cars still on the lead lap, with Catalano and Kramer, the 2 drivers at the back. We're down to 9 cars on the racetrack. Ryan Salvatore, the last one that is on the racetrack, and he actually got the free pass on the last caution, Paul, so he is now 1 lap down, and if we get one more quick caution to trigger that green-white checker, Ryan Salvatore will be right back in it.
And the flag man showing these drivers high five. 5 laps to go. Lights still on. They should be off this time by. And that's going to get everybody ready to get down with the final restart. It looks like we'll have... nope, we're going to have the lights on 1 more lap. So really bringing us down to the wire here. Getting ready for what they call a legal green-white checker. Not quite a green-white checker, but 3 laps to go on the restart. Ryan Libby out front, very strong all night long. But don't look now, Kyle Scisco. This is going to be interesting because Kyle's been very good on these restarts. He's been able to move himself up into the top 5 and now the 2nd position with pretty much only restarts to work with. A couple of green flag laps sprinkled in here and there, but Ryan Libby's still holding on to that top spot. And there you see the 26 coming up to the front of the field. He's going to join the 3rd position. Not sure what that was, but lights are off on the pace car. We're going green, Tim.
Getting ready to go green flag racing. We'll see if we can finish this one up under the green flag. We will have 4 laps to go when we take that green silk. And there it is, Ryan Libby, Kyle Scisco up in front. Libby has led every single lap so far in race number 2. Kyle Scisco is looking to change that. Scisco right in behind him, down the back straightaway they go. They've kind of broken away from this battle for position number 3. Fataruso trying to hold on over Christman, and Ken Zeems in the 90.
Top 2 have checked out. Battle for third there. You can see it, a three-way dance. Zeems on the outside. The 41 of Christman down low. And Ray Fataruso all up in the mix as well. And it's 3 wide, 3 drivers battling behind them as well. So all 8 of these drivers battling for position in the final lap, final couple of laps here. Ryan Libby coming out of turn number 4. White flag, white rag. Nope, check that. That was the back stretch.
Nope. No, we're wrecking about 15 cars in the back straightaway with only 9 cars left. Ray Fataruso around in the 26. The 4 is also around a Sean Okula. And I believe it started for that battle for position number 3. And we've seen it all night, Paul, and we'll cue it up on the Rays Energy Drink Instant Replay. These guys are not afraid to use the bumpers.
Nope, and this is going to be one of those replays. You're going to have to use your whole screen. Up on the top right is where it starts, and in the middle is where it finishes. There you see the 41 of Christman get into the back bumper, just a little bit of the 26. Send him on around. It slows these drivers up. Gets another shot from the 26. He comes down into the 2, collects, well, just about everybody else. There you see the 4 car of Sean Okula, big time damage. He hits that concrete wall there square, and you can see 12 of Ryan Salvatore getting by. He's a lap down, but currently scored in the 9th position. So a lot of big damage for the remaining cars in the back of the field, but green-white checkered. Libby's got to hold on for a few more laps.
Well, actually, Paul, there's no green-white checker put into this server, so that's the race. Ryan Libby is your winner, unless they do go an extra green-white checker here, because there's no green-white checker installed on the race server. So we'll keep close here and see what happens as pace cars coming in, and that's it. They're wrecking at the back. Ryan Libby's your winner.
Well, how about that? That's going to bring us down. Caution is out. The race is over. So let's see what we got with interviews. We're going to talk to the top 3 if we can. Ryan Libby, strong showing in both series here tonight, for both the Pro Series as well as the Light Series earlier on tonight. And great to see him come home here with a victory, even though a little bit of a caution-filled race, a caution-ended race, but still a win is a win is a win is a win.
And he had to hold off a couple of drivers, the 64 of Catalano at the start, the opening 30 or 35 laps of this race, and then Kyle Scisco at the end. So even though there was a lot of cautions in this race, it wasn't without challenge for the top spot. But Ryan Libby, we talk about inverts. That is the big thing here, and he was able to drive that invert, Paul, to victory lane at the end of this one. And for a night that started out with the Light Series where he didn't get the win that he wanted to, he's finally going to get one here, and we'll chat with Ryan Libby, our winner. Ryan, congratulations. Finally got that win here this evening with the East Coast Winter League, but lots of cautions in that one. You were challenged near the end. Walk us through your race. What was it like to lead this thing and get good at those restarts?
Yeah, the last race we had a little problem there. We ended up finishing towards the back, so we ended up starting on the pole in this race. And I kind of figured if we start on the pole here, there's only one way to go. So wanted to stay out front, and I changed my setup around from the earlier race. I kind of figured out what I needed, so I actually threw a whole different setup in, and it actually worked. So luckily for that. But yeah, the race was full of cautions, which is too bad. I think it would have been a good race. More green flag runs there. But yeah, towards the end there, I saw Scisco coming in, and he's a tough competitor. So he was definitely coming there, but I think we could have held him off if that caution wasn't there. I was kind of conserving a little bit towards the end, but yeah, overall, feels good to be back in the podium again here, and feels good to finally win one of these.
And considering the way the Light Series went, where you scored a couple of podium finishes, and we're in line for a couple of victories, how good does it feel to finally get the monkey off your back in race number 4 of the evening?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first race there in the Lights, I was behind Zane Farrow, and then of course finishing third in the other race there. And yeah, it was one of those. We were definitely a winning car in the Light race, but in the Pro race, these guys, they got some really, really good setups. They got some really trick setups here. So I don't think we were really a race-winning car per setup-wise, but luckily everything just kind of fell together for us. We started up front, started on the pole, led the most laps, and ended up, bringing it home. So at the end of the day, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? It's what happens sometimes.
We talked about it about halfway through this show tonight. NEPS is coming up this week, and it's a busy week for you guys with a couple of races and the Truck Series at the end of the week. What's your outlook for this week with the NEPS Series here on Vidane TV?
Well, I'll tell you what, we got some big snow coming for us tomorrow. So hopefully no power out. Power stays on here, and the winds don't pick up here, and hopefully we do get the race in. But yeah, it's getting down to crunch time with the points championship with the Grand National Division too. So Myrtle Beach is going to be a really, really good track. It's pretty tricky there, but I think it's going to be a really good race. And then with the Truck Series on Friday, that's anyone can win that. That's a super speedway, and a lot could happen there too.
Who do you got in this race car? Who'd you like to thank for tonight's performance?
Yep, we got North End Auto Parts out of Marion, Connecticut, R&R Fabrication, of course, Vidane TV. You guys are the best, and got to thank Dylan Kopech for putting the league on again. It's a pretty good league.
That's Ryan Libby, your winner on race number 2 of the Pro Division. And Paul, I believe you've caught up with our third place finisher, our winner from race number 1, Jacob Christman.
Picking them up and putting them down. The good finishes, the podium finishes here for Jake Christman here in the 41 car. Like you said, Tim, won the first race and finishes third here on the podium in the second. Man, talk to us about your evening so far.
Yeah, for sure. The first race worked out in our favor, but the second one got a lot of caution laps, not so many green laps, so I was unfortunate there. But we ended up working up to third, which ended up on a good note.
Absolutely, and we saw you kind of work your way up through. There was a lot of kind of a battle of attrition there. Not a lot of green flag laps to make things happen here. So it looks like the 41 machine was pretty much hooked up on these restarts.
Yeah, for sure. The restarts, I thought my car was really, really good. I would have loved to get some more long runs in there and see how the tires wore and see if the racing got a little bit better as the tires got older, but unfortunately we didn't get to see that, so I had to make the most of those short runs and get what you could.
Absolutely, and we're getting the word in the earpiece now. Christman is the pro champion after the points updated, so unofficial now. I'm sure we're gonna have to go through and review the race and everything like that. But the unofficial official word right now from race officials, Christman is the Pro Series champion. So that's got to be pretty cool to be introduced as the champ.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank Dylan Kopech for putting this league on. Had a lot of fun with a variety of tracks and racing with the same guys every week. So got to thank him and Vidane TV for broadcasting the races. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely, and we know there's a bunch of other logos on the race car. Who gets it done for the 41? Who gets you to and from the track? And have you got any real racing going on this year? Yeah,
we're coming up on our season, starting in April here, and at Lehighton, PA, Mahoney Valley Speedway. So really excited about that. But I got to thank my sponsor, Stan Graver Auto Sales and Service. Obviously, my family and friends for all their support through everything. So yeah, looking forward to this coming racing season.
Absolutely. Great races here tonight. Great finishes. The first place in the first race and third place in the second brings you home the championship. Celebrate and have fun with it. It's going to be a long night in the 41 camp, it looks like.
All right. Thanks, guys.
And just waiting to see if we can get a final word with our Light Series champion. Finding out now unofficially it was Windrow to bring home that Light Series championship earlier on tonight. We're going to see if we can get a quick word with him. But in the meantime, man, final thoughts, Tim. There was a couple of it was a couple of really intense races. A little bit of yellow fever towards the back half of race number 2 here in the Pro Series, but all in all, an entertaining night.
Yeah, the Light Series put on a phenomenal show this evening, and the pros in the first race especially put on a barn burner. Congratulations to Jacob Christman, not only on the win tonight, but the championship, and Ryan Libby for the back half of the second race, the win, and now we await and see the next season for the East Coast Winter League. Thank you to Dylan Kopech for putting on this show. It's been phenomenal, and we'll see what see what the next season will bring.
Absolutely, and pretty excited to work with the East Coast Winter League guys. These guys were the very first league that we broadcasted back on March 29th, 2020, and we're closing in on the 1-year anniversary show here at Vidane TV, so very excited for that. We're going to do something a little bit special that week. We're not sure just what yet, but you can bet it's going to be a collaboration event with all of those involved here at Vidane TV to really make us what we are here today, and lots of big things coming up in the future. But this week, a little bit of uncertainty. As we made mention, we've got a nor'easter here. Vidane TV headquarters and production trailer parks itself in southern New England, and we got about 1.5 feet of snow coming starting tomorrow night. So we may be tweaking the schedule just a little bit. We're actually going to run down and do a little quick meeting with the NEPS officials and find out what's going on for this week to see what we're going to do with the schedule. But taking a peek right now, the tentative schedule for the week. Monday night, NEPS Grand National Series brought to you by Shift Marketing Design, 8:15 start. Tuesday night, the RBR Maritime Group. That's going to be race number 3 for season number 3. Showtime Cup Series on the Wednesday night. They're going to be visiting Richmond International Raceway with a brand new sponsor on board. Really looking forward to announcing that to the airwaves. Thursday night, the NEPS Grand National Series again, race number 2 in the week, and the NEPS Super Trucks on Friday. Saturday night, we got some racing as well with the Sim 500 Vidane Racing Super Speedway Series, and well, I'm sure we'll pick up something next Sunday too. So lots of racing action here on Vidane TV. We appreciate everybody tuning in here on the YouTube and the Facebook. Facebook chat was on fire tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in and letting us know that we got some things to work on for the entertainment factor. Thanks, Champ. John Peters hanging out in the chat. But we hope you guys were entertained. If you get an opportunity to throw a couple of bucks at a t-shirt, visit the Vidane TV merchandise hauler over at vidane.net/shop and use the promo code TANGLY for 10% off. But that's going to do it here. Great racing, 4 races in the books here for Vidane TV. Everybody here at Vidane TV, thanks you, as well as the drivers and the sponsors, league officials, and everybody here at the East Coast Winter League as well, both the Lites and the Pro Series division. We're going to catch you guys possibly tomorrow night. We are going to work with the NEPS guys and figure out exactly what the schedule holds with this big snowstorm coming up into the Northeast. So we will be on Facebook and let you guys know what's going on social media, so make sure you check that out as well. While you're there, like, subscribe, and let your friends know you were entertained by this internet racing thing called Vidane TV. We'll catch you guys on the flip side, and when we do, we'll be doing it live. Have a great night.